My name is John Knutz. Tonight's forum is an opportunity for everyone interested in the prosperity of Madison to learn more about the candidates running for City Commission in Madison. Tonight's forum is sponsored by the Madison Chamber of Commerce Governmental Affairs Committee, and I want to extend a nice thank you to the members of our committee. Some of us are here, putting the questions together and organizing the forum. I also want to thank everybody in attendance here tonight. We appreciate your interest in the event and willingness to come out and learn more about the candidates. And also a special thank you to KJAM for broadcasting the event, and most of all to our candidates who are here this evening and are willing to serve our community and go to work for us every day. The election will be April 10th. I believe that's a week from today, if I've got my calendars right. So we're anxious for an exciting forum, and welcome to tonight's program. The format tonight is the candidates, we've already given them a opening question so they can prepare for that. They'll have 2 minutes to answer that question. And then we will also provide them with 4 other questions that have been prepared by our committee. And each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer those questions as well. And they have not been told those questions, so only on the first question will they know. And in conclusion, the candidates will have 2 minutes to wrap up their thoughts and better explain why they want to be city commissioners. The candidate who appears first on the ballot will begin the introduction section, followed by the other candidates in the order that they appear on the ballot. We will then alternate so that each candidate has the opportunity to go first, or last as the case may be. We do have a timekeeper, so we'll try to keep on schedule, keep our program to about an hour. And he'll hold up some cards there when there's 30 seconds remaining and when it's time to stop, when they get to the end of 2 minutes. With that, I will introduce the candidates and we'll be ready to go. We have Mike Waldner is first on the ballot, so he'll be first to speak. Mike is down here. Nick Abraham is second, over here. Jeremiah Corbin is third. Scott Nicely is fourth on the ballot, and he is unable to be here tonight. We will have a prepared statement on the opening statement, but that'll be all. And then Patrick Mullen is the last candidate on the ballot, so he'll be last in the first round. With that, each candidate will have 2 minutes, and we'll be ready to get started. So Mike, in 2 minutes, please tell us about yourself and what personal qualities and experience you have that would make you a good city commissioner. Mike Waldner.
Well, thank you, John, and thanks everybody for coming, and those that are listening on the radio. First off, before I start talking about myself, I got to talk about the most important people in my life, and that's my family. And have lots of roots in Madison area, grandparents that lived in Madison forever. He was a local milkman. The story is that people used to set their clocks by his rotation of how he actually was dependable in delivering milk. So always fun hearing some of those stories about your grandparents. My mom's obviously a Madison Central graduate. My wife, Lori, of 20 years, is a Madison High School graduate as well. And also, I have an older daughter who is a graduate of Madison High School. She's working in Pierre right now for the state Supreme Courts, as she's a law clerk there. I have a 17-year-old son, Brendan, that if Miss Knowlton lets him, hopefully he'll graduate in a year. And he's working on that. And our youngest daughter, Sydney, who is also in Madison School District. Very busy kids. We keep a very busy family. We love it that way and wouldn't want it any other way. So now a little bit about myself. Been in the Madison area for a little over 25 years. And I came here obviously visiting grandparents, knew about Dakota State University, came to school here, graduated, started a couple of businesses, done some of those kind of things. And I continue to also on myself. I have a master's in information systems, and I'm also working right now for the state of South Dakota and what they call the broadband capacity manager for the state, and we are increasing high-speed internet across all of South Dakota, specifically in the rural areas, and it's all part of a national project that we're working on to increase economic development in South Dakota. So thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And can you hear this back there? We're just checking the microphone. It doesn't seem to be on. There we go. Is that better? Yeah. Ah, you hit the switch and we're on. Sorry about that on the radio. Our next candidate on the ballot is Nick Abraham, and in 2 minutes, tell us about yourself and why you'd like to be a city commissioner.
Well, first off, my name is Nick Abraham. I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight and taking time out of your day to show a little interest in what goes on around town and who's going to continue to make the decisions for you in the future. I grew up 5 miles north of Junius. I've been a lifelong Lake County resident. I graduated from Old Ramona High School in 1997. I attended SDSU for 5 years. I moved to Madison in 1998. I've been employed at the F&M Co-op since May of 1997. So coming up on 15 years that I've been doing that job here in town. I've been your city commissioner for 3 years now. I started out, I did 2 years as the finance commissioner, and this last year has been the public works commissioner. I would like to continue to serve you, the citizens of Madison. We have a lot of great things going on in town, and there's a lot of new things coming on. We're in a real building period right now. There's a lot of work going on, a lot of new projects, a lot of projects that are finishing up and continuing on, and it's a great time to be in Madison. There's a lot of positives going on right now, and I would like to continue to serve you.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate your comments. Next on the ballot is Jeremiah Corbin, and in 2 minutes, Jeremiah, please tell us your experience and qualities and why you would like to be a city commissioner.
Hello, I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight, the chamber for putting this on. My name is Jeremiah Corbin. I lived in Madison for most of my life. I graduated from Madison High School and then got a degree at Dakota State. I currently work at South Dakota Rural Water. I've done that for the last 3 years. And my previous position at South Dakota Rural Water is actually a resource specialist, and I went through and attended energy audits of different water systems. And then in turn, when that was done, I went and put on some training for energy efficiency. Now I'm a source water protection specialist, and I help communities put source water protection plans together. And I think the experience I've gained in my job would be an excellent fit for the things that we have going on in Madison. And I've also got a family. They're back there in the corner, my wife Jill and our 3 children, Lil. And I'm looking forward to the challenge, and I think I'd be a good commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Next on the ballot would be Scott Nicely, and Scott is unable to attend tonight's forum due to a work conflict. But he was given the question along with the other candidates and has prepared a written statement, and Julie Gross will read it. So Julie will be Scott.
First, he says he'd like to thank the Chamber for hosting this forum, and he apologizes to his fellow candidates and the citizens of Madison that he's not able to attend. I was unexpectedly called out of town for the Highway Patrol. The Chamber has graciously allowed me to respond in writing to their first question. My name is Scott Nicely. I was born and raised in Madison. I am married to my wife, Nicole. I have 2 daughters, 1 stepson, and a stepdaughter. I graduated from Madison High School in 1978 and Dakota State College in 1980 with an associate degree. In 1981, I moved to Winter and took a job as a police officer with the Winter Police Department. In 1985, I applied to the Highway Patrol and was selected to be a trooper and was stationed in Redfield for 7.5 years. In '92, I returned to Madison as a trooper, and in 2003, I was promoted to sergeant and supervised 15 motor carrier inspectors for 4 years. In 2007, I was transferred to the Brookings Squad sergeant position, where I currently supervise 8 troopers in a 5-county area. Because I have worked in state government for the past 27 years, I understand and appreciate the importance of taxpayer dollars. I think it's important to remember that the citizens pay taxes to support government entities. In today's economic climate, it's a responsibility of government leaders to ensure those dollars are budgeted as wisely as possible to safeguard the taxpayers and ensure they get the most from those tax dollars. I have also served on the board of directors for the East River Federal Credit Union for the past 10 years. Over that period of time, the board has made tough decisions in the best interests of the members. While tough decisions are not always popular, they were made with the consideration of what is best for the members and the organization. For the past 31 years of public service, I have relied on my common sense to solve difficult issues. Working in state government and serving on the credit union board, I am conscious of how budgets have tightened and the need for the governing bodies to make difficult decisions. This is especially true with government agencies to ensure that they are maximizing the taxpayers' money and the taxpayer is getting the most from their tax dollars. I believe the City Commission needs those type of people that are willing to make the tough decisions. I do not have an agenda or major complaint or issue about the community. I am seeking this position because I have been involved in public service for the past 31 years and see this as another opportunity to serve the community I grew up in. I would appreciate your support and vote on April 10th. Thank you, Scott Knisely.
And thank you to Julie for reading that statement. The final candidate for the first and opening remarks is Patrick Mullen. And Patrick, will you tell us in 2 minutes why you'd like to be a city commissioner?
Again, I want to, just like everybody else, thank the Chamber for having us here tonight and stuff like that. It's a pleasure to talk tonight, and thank you for coming. My name is Patrick Mullen, and I'm running for City Commission. I grew up in Madison. I'm a graduate of Madison High School. Upon graduation into the United States Army, and I do have an honorable discharge. I intended to go to State University and graduate with a bachelor's degree in education. I received my master's degree from South Dakota State University in School Administration and my superintendent certification from the University of South Dakota. I've experienced in varied occupations from banking, self-employed insurance agents, education as a teacher, principal, superintendent. In my current position is I'm the director of alternative education at Marty Indian School. And I'm looking for another challenge. I'm retiring this year. My wife Elizabeth and I have been married for 41 years. We have 3 sons. We've been in Madison. We came back to Madison about 15, 16 years ago. And we have 3, as I said, we have 3 sons, Michael, Chris, and Eric. All 3 of my sons are currently deployed. 2 of them are in Afghanistan and 1 is in Iraq. We have 5 grandchildren, and we go to Trinity Lutheran Church in Madison. We try to support our local community. My wife and I actually belong to an organization called the Patriot Guard. And Patriot Guard is a diverse band of motorcycle riders from across the nation, and we are unwavering in our respect for those who risk their lives, their very lives, for the protection of us and American freedom. And the only thing that we have in common is respect. Why do I want to be a commissioner? I want to give back to Madison what Madison's given to me. My experience in education, administration of budgets, and I got to stop. Have a good day.
Thank you, Patrick, and to all the candidates for their opening remarks. We'll now go through some prepared questions that have been prepared by the committee, and we'll ask each candidate to answer these questions in 2 minutes as well. First this time will be Nick Abraham, followed by Jeremiah, Patrick, and Mike. The question will be, if elected, what would you do to make the city of Madison a better place to live?
If elected, if re-elected, I would continue with a lot of the same policies that we've had ongoing now. I continue to work towards our Clearwell project, which, if you read the paper, we took the initial steps of moving forward with last night. I'd like to work on probably more of a financial responsibility. The city is currently will be surpassing our bond limit with this Clearwell project if it proceeds all the way through. I think it's important that we get back under our debt limit or our bond limit and build up some reserves that have been expended over probably the previous 7 or 8 years. I think financial responsibility and maintaining the quality of life in Madison would be my couple biggest priorities.
Thank you, Nick. Jeremiah is next. And Jeremiah, if elected, what would you do to make the city of Madison a better place to live?
I'd like to make sure that we keep following the current comprehensive plan the city has. I think they're doing a pretty good job, and it looks like if we keep following that plan, we'll have an even better place to live. Looking at all the beautiful parks we have around town, I would like to maybe see an expansion of the community gardens to more the floodplain, so people can walk to their gardens instead of having to drive down by the power plant. But that's just an idea. When I spoke to the paper about a month ago, I mentioned something about a city campground, and apparently we can't do that on the floodplains, but I guess that's one of the joys of being a rookie. You learn these things as you go. But I would like to talk to like the 4-H grounds and see if they'd be interested in doing something. I think the city could put the utilities in if they'd be willing to provide the land. So there's some ideas. I'd like to see us have an effort of revitalizing downtown, because I'm a bit worried about it as we continue to lose businesses. So I'd like to have a conversation about that.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Patrick Mullen will be next. And Patrick, if elected, what would you do to make the city of Madison a better place to live?
I believe continued economic development in Madison is imperative, but not at the expense of what we currently have. Positive growth with industry and the community life are important aspects or elements for a healthy community. When presented with sound proposals, I'll evaluate these, and what is in the best interest of Madison as a whole, I'll be more than willing to support.
Thank you, Patrick. The final candidate to answer this question will be Mike Waldner. And if elected, Mike, what would you do to make the city of Madison a better place to live?
Thanks, John. Obviously, one of my huge interests is in quality of life for our citizens in Madison. Quality of life being everything, what are the interests of the citizens? And I think that's the first thing, if you're going to do anything, is to sit and listen to what is it that the citizens want. And when we're talking about quality of life, we're really lucky and fortunate here in Madison. We got a great school system. We have excellent parks throughout the town. We have good access to Lake Madison, Lake Herman, state parks, and things such as that. Obviously, coming from the Recreational Trail Committee and all of that, I think we've done some things in the past few years to increase quality of life with some of our recreational trails, allowing our citizens to get out. They can get their exercise and enjoy life, especially these nice spring days that we're having here in April. So you want to be able to do that. I think we want to increase that model in the community. Our kids need to have safe trails, safe routes, so that they can get to those parks, so that they can play and enjoy the community. Aside from that, I think the other parts of it is that what other type of things do we need in the community that the citizens are actually asking for? Is it more playgrounds? Is it more plays and more things to do with the arts and festivals and things such as that, as we're talking about strictly quality of life? I guess that's the main thing, is to listen and decide from there what we're capable of doing.